Hi, my name is Jess, and this is episode 20 of Knitting on Sweater Avenue. This is a podcast where I talk about what I have been knitting, what I've finished, any new cast-ons, although none today, any new yarn acquisitions, again, none, and basically, yeah, everything I've been working on. And this is only 2 weeks, well, I guess when I'm filming this, it's just under 2 weeks, but by the time it comes out, it will be, 2 weeks from when I filmed and hopefully 2 weeks from when I released. And I wanted to film an update on how I am trying to finish all my whips by Christmas. And we're getting there, I guess. A couple of housekeeping, I guess. So I am trying a new filming setup. So you are on my back camera. Normally I film with my front camera so I can see what's going on, but now you're on my back camera, which I was a bit worried about how I would make sure that everything was in frame, and so as a result I'm casting to my television, which is behind you, and then desperately trying not to look at myself while to ensure that I don't spend the whole time looking up here, which is very annoying, versus at the camera. So that's the first thing. The second one is oh my goodness, I got really sick last week, didn't work, and also was not knitting, and so if my voice is a bit croaky, I think I'm fine now. I have today off unrelated to being sick. I just don't work every other Wednesday, and so I think I'm doing better. But I did in Melbourne we have a cycling race, is the wrong word. There's like a cycling event, so you can ride all the way around the bay, and I did that on Sunday, which was probably not my best call, but it was really exciting. So I will endeavour to cut out any coughing fits, and I'll see how we go. But yes, this is episode 20. My name is Jess. I live in Melbourne, and I have one finished object for you. The one and only, my socks. So this is I'm just going to try and make sure that's in frame. So these are two matching, well, I guess they're sisters, not twins, so they don't exactly match, but you can definitely tell they're part of the same sock set. This is just a plain vanilla sock with a 64 stitch cast on, 2x2 ribbed cuff, and then I did a sort of peasant heel, I think it's called a peasant heel, a 74 row foot, and then I decreased down to 10 stitches for the toe. This yarn was given to me by one of my friends, just like as a birthday present, and I'm really excited that I've now got a final pair of socks. And that was, I guess, socks is the only thing that I've allowed myself to cast on new ones of, so that I can have something to do in my commute. But shockingly, I haven't been commuting for the past 2 weeks basically, and so I've got these done, but not a lot of other sock work. Okay, I just wanted to briefly jump in and talk about what I am wearing. I am hoping that I have found a good place that I can just slip this in. But this is a finished object from a while ago. This is my Leith cardigan by Rebecca Clove from the Creabea. I knit it in Double Sunday by Sandesgarn in, I think, Almond and Croissant. And so I call it my Almond Croissant cardigan, and I just went for different numbers of stripes. So I have 2 row stripes, 4 row stripes, 8 row stripes, and 12 row stripes, I think. 12 or 16. 16 row stripes. And it's cute. I don't wear it as much as I think I thought I would. It's not that big. I don't know, okay, wait. I'm gonna just go over there. Hold up. Here I am behind with my, excuse the plant. Okay, so it's just sort of not as tight as I thought that it's tighter than I thought it was going to be. And so it just sort of, it's relatively cropped, which works, for example, with these jeans, but doesn't work with a bunch of my outfits. And then because this is not white, I just find it difficult to style, basically. So I don't wear this one all that often, but I've been wearing it all morning, and it is very comfy. I'm gonna come sit back down. All right. Yeah, so I have been wearing it today, and it is comfy. So I'm trying to work out ways that I can sort of fit it into the wardrobe more. but it means that I don't really know how the fabric has been going because I just haven't worn it enough to like see how the fabric behaves with a lot of time. So yeah, so that is my one and only finished object, but I feel like I've made progress on most of my whips. So like I feel like quite a lot of them I've made some progress on each of them, and so none of them are finished, but we're getting there. So let me start with this one in a very cute little bag. And I basically worked on this one, I would say pretty exclusively, until I ran out of yarn that I had wound up. And so this is my Firth sweater by the Creabea, by Rebecca Clow, that I am knitting in a Knitting for Olive merino in the colour red currant, and black wattle yarns suri alpaca in, I don't know what colour, I've got another one. Oh no, I'm losing the ball band. Okay, sorry. Alright. Okay, I just had to retrieve this. I need to wind another one of these up, but this is the black wattle yarn and fibre jacaranda 2-ply, that in the colour Rouge, and it's I really like the colour combo. Here, let me just show you. So like that's, oh, I guess this one's still attached, but this one isn't. That's those two colours, which I think, even though this is darker tonally, I feel like I really like the combo. And then, sorry, I'm just holding it in front of my face so that I can make sure that it focuses. This is what the swatch looks like. And I really like the final fabric. So here's, yeah, that's how it's going. I think the last 2 weeks ago when I filmed, I had not joined under the arms, I don't think. And so I have joined under the arms and done about 8 centimeters. And I'm so happy with how it's looking. I think it's looking really nice. I'm now, obviously, I need to wind up another skein. Oh, I hope that's still filming, but it's gone off my TV. I have to wind up another skein, but I'm really happy with how that's going. So yeah, that is my first whip. So at the moment I'm knitting a size 3, and I really have no notes. I haven't worked on it all of this week, but it is really soft, and I think it's going to be lovely. So that's my first whip, and I guess I need to wind up my next skein, but I used, I guess this was the one I was most excited about, and so then I used the fact that I hadn't wound up this next skein to try and do some work on some of the others. Put that back in there. Okay, hopefully this is going to go smoother than I thought. Whip number 2. I feel like I picked this one up after I stopped working on the other one, and yeah, I've got to say I'm pretty happy with the progress I've made on all my whips, because I feel like I can see noticeable progress, but maybe that's just where I am, because I don't know, I feel like all my whips were at the same point. But this is number 2. This is the Aros sweater by Petite Knit that I have hacked to be fingering weight. I am using so I guess theoretically I would be knitting the size small to medium, but I've completely edited it to be at my gauge. And I think I have more notes about this on my Ravelry if you're interested in the specifics, but to be honest, I would probably recommend just knitting a fingering weight garment rather than going through all this kerfuffle. But this is, so the main yarn, let me just hold them up one at a time. So the main yarn is the Pasley Knits non-superwash merino, fingering weight in Champagne Problems, which is part of their Taylor Swift collection. And then I'm 3 contrast colors in, just try to show you those. And so we've got, this is Sandesgarn Sunday, this purple one. This next one is Knitting for Olive Merino, and the third one is the one that I currently have attached, which is Kinross 4-ply. And this color is Highland Cow. The red is Pomegranate, and the purple is 4372. So I have got, well, hopefully you can't hear, I think there are children playing next door, and I can hear them squealing, but hopefully you can't. I'm really happy with how this is going. I calculated it so that the final stripes, so there'll be 5 stripes. The next one is going to be more orange, so the next one is also a Pasley knits yarn, and then the one after that will be green. It's like a sort of, it's very Knitting for Olive Dusty Artichoke, but it's a Sandesgarn yarn. And the final colour will be where, as in like, it's at the final colour, that's where I'll split for sleeves, I think, during that last colour. So that was my plan. And I have based this off of the, I think Isabella from Breathing Yarns knit I think she has what she calls her Polaroid sweater. She's knit 2 of them. And this is sort of based on that, but I wanted to use the colours that I wanted to use. So those are the colours that I'm going with. So yeah, I guess since last time I have done quite a lot of the yoke and gotten into the stripes. And the stripes move quicker, but I've gone for 8 row stripes, and they are, this is the biggest part, and now it's fingering weight, so this is taking a while. So this one's definitely been a little bit on the back burner recently. But I'm really happy with how it's going, and if I hold it up like that, you can see how the colours are coming through. I think they're looking really cute. So that is whip number 2. And I feel like I'm flying through these, but hopefully everything you want to know. But if you have any questions, let me know. So that's 2 down. Again, I'm just trying not to cough all the time, but I just got to check something. Okay. Cool. So whip number 3 has had less progress, but I have done, let me just show you. This is, here we have the Moby Sweater Man. Here we go. By Petite Knit, and it's currently on try-on tubing because I did the neck and I wanted Ben to try it on. This is for my partner Ben, and this is the second time I've knit him this one, and I think it is already looking better. But he wanted a single fold neckline, so that's what I have done, but I think it's a bit high, so I'm going to need to rip it out, just rip out the last few rows and shorten it. But I did an Italian bind off, if you can look there. Oh no, hold, come on. Hold up 1 second, let me click this. There we go. This way. There's my Italian bind off on the collar, which I'm really happy with how that's looking. Just like looking at that. And so, sorry about all of my cables. Oh dear, you have to go back to me. There you go. Sorry, yeah, just getting used to trying to do a camera in a different way. Yeah, so I'm happy with how that's looking, and I will just do that again for the next one. I am knitting between a small and an extra small, but I'm using 4.5mm needles with this Sandesgarn Pia Gynt, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. I feel like I am keener to work on my knits than I am to work on his, so I feel like this one's a bit further down the pile, but it's still, I don't know, I feel like hopefully I will gain a bit of momentum. He's not here today, so maybe I'll do a bit of this afternoon to try and get a bit of it done while he's not here, to surprise him. But I like held it up against one of his other jumpers, and shockingly I've got miles to go on this body. I've joined it in the underarm, but I've done about 1 centimetre under the underarm, and it's a bit wobbly right now because it's on try-on tubing and I'm losing stitches, so I need to fix that one up and get it back on the needles. But yeah, happy that I at least did some of the neck, and I'll just give the neck a bit of a fix up. I did combination ribbing on the neck, so if you can see, hopefully it looks neat to you, but what I do is I twist the pearl stitch and then untwist it as I come through and knit it the next time. And so I believe it like pulls it in and makes it a bit tighter. So that is, I suppose, whip number 3. So we're getting there. Number 4, I feel like 4 and 5 will be pretty quick because I just haven't made that much progress on them. So I'll just mention them briefly, and then I feel like 6 will be bigger. So I feel like this is basically the same amount you saw it last time. I've done like 2 rows I'm just trying to smash out the ones that are a little bit closer. So this is the My Favorite Things Knitwear dress number 1 in Knitting for Olive Pure Silk, held double in deep petroleum blue. I think if I hold it here, it maybe will focus. Maybe it won't. And it's on a 4.5mm needle. So it's looking good, but I'm working through the shoulder portion at the moment, and this one has not been one of my like top whips at the moment, which is kind of interesting because I thought it would be, but I think I just really wanted to cast it on, and then once I cast it on, it was like a bit hard, so I've been moving on and doing other things. I'm knitting the size between the size 2 and 3 on that one. I'm doing the size, I often, for Petite knit or My Favorite Things Knitwear, I'll do the medium to like get a little bit broader of a shoulder, and then I'll convert to the small for like the body. And so it just like means I do more increases and like make this piece longer. And so I've done that here, and I also did that on my Aros sweater, I think. That's number 4, I think? Yeah, 4. 5 is, again, I think, I'll just mention this very briefly because I think the only thing I've done is put it back on the needles. And that is my Simple Bralette by Naked Knit. Knit in the 3rd size, the medium. No progress on this. I've just put it back on the needles, ready. I was trying to set myself up for success, get this one ready to go, but I haven't done anything on it. So that I won't even, hopefully those two will maybe get a bit more progress in the coming week. But one that I have quite a lot of progress on is this one. And I'm like, I'm stoked about this. Here we go. Ooh, okay. It's a bit tangly, but boom. This is my Aros sweater by Petite Knit. Knit to, well, I presume to gauge, I haven't really checked. Using a bunch of my scraps, and I am stoked. I think last time I was about here, and I've done this sort of creamy blue bit, and then I've done some browns, and I'm onto the cream, and I just keep setting out, like, I set my yarns out, like, which color am I going to do next to try and work out which is which. And it's really fun. It takes up all of our coffee table space, but I set them up and then I work through them. Shockingly, it takes longer to knit through them than it takes to set them up, but I still enjoy doing it. So I feel like the thing that I really like, that I feel like has worked well to hold this together, is these dark stripes. So I've got sort of 2-row, I've got cocoa bean up here, also cocoa bean on the, like here, and then here, and then down here I have a 2-row stripe of navy, and then here I have a 2-row stripe of black. And I don't know, I feel like something about this, I think, brings it together and like makes it look a little bit more cohesive. I'm going to, well, the black I've run out of. I only had enough to do 2 rows on there and on the matching one on the sleeve, but I'm hoping to do navy around the neck, and then I don't think I'll do anything for the cuffs and hems. I don't think I will do. At no point did I talk about what I'm wearing. I'll mention that. And so, yeah, I'm really happy with how this is looking. The one thing I will note, so yeah, I'm obviously a bit behind on the sleeves, and I'm using some little needle stoppers on those because they kept falling off, and I have lost a stitch marker somewhere in my house as a result. But I, strictly speaking, did not have enough of this orange one, so I've got a slightly different, do I have it with me? No. I have a slightly, I'm dropping, it's in my mud bag, but it's balanced precariously on my lap. So I have a slightly different orange. I think it's this one. So if I let me show you, hold. If I hold them together, is that gonna work? I think this is gonna work. Bear with me. Okay, so if I hold them together, you can see that they're different colors. But I think that being on the body and the sleeve, it will be okay. If they, I think they will look similar enough that it will be okay. And I'm really happy with how this is looking. I hope it looks cohesive. I hope that it's not just like me being delusional and loving what I am working on, and everyone else thinks it looks absurd. But yeah, no, I'm really stoked with this one. So yeah, this has been my focus most recently. I've been like really trying to power through these bits, trying to work out what I'm going to do with the colour. But I think the collar is coming up soon, and I'll get more. I'll see how that one goes. Similarly for this one, I'm knitting the medium. This is a Petite knit. This is the Petite knit Aros sweater, if I didn't mention that already, and it's using a mixture of a bunch of different yarns. Mostly, I would say mostly knitting for olive merino, Sandesgarn Sunday, Sandesgarn double Sunday. But for example, it contains the yarn from this sweater, so there's that one there, and I think this creamy one down here is this one. And so it's really nice. It's got yarns, I think I mentioned last time, it's got yarns from my stash, like this one. It's got yarns from my grandma's stash. Oh, that's a bit further down, but I think this blue is from my grandmother. This one's from my mum. So it's nice to use a few of their yarns up, and include them in this really cute sweater. So yes, that is at the moment my main focus whip, I would say. Partly because I feel like, so I've got the body on the needles and the sleeves on the needles, and so I'm like, I need to, in order for any of my other jumpers to get onto the sleeves, I need to finish the sleeves of these so I can have the needles back. So yeah, that's what I'm focusing on. I'm going to pause on my whips for but one moment to mention what I'm wearing. Or maybe, disregard. I'm going to film it at the end and try and fit it in at the beginning and see if I can get that in. Because I think that might make the most sense. And so, disregard what I just said. Instead, I'm going to show you my last whip and my only new cast on, and I don't even think it really counts as a new cast on. Well, it obviously does, but it also doesn't. So, the last whip, as is probably expected, are my socks. So, I have two, but they're, I love a plain vanilla sock. I almost exclusively knit vanilla socks, and this, I'm missing one of my vanilla socks. Anyway, this is the one that I'm working on at the moment. It's a green, but I'm adding some stripes in because this is the second sock that I've knit out of this yarn, and so I'm just running out of it. So I think that the very top here, oh, okay, wait, let me focus it. Go here. Nope, this way. Come on. There we go. Okay, so the very top is Willow by Olivia and Oliver Fibres. This is Elderflower by Olivia and Oliver Fibres, and then these three stripes are 3 Sally Ridgway design colours, the bottom of which is Buttercorn, Fig Leaf, I think, and then Mountain Wine or something. And so, okay, back to me. Oh yeah, did you do it? No. Sorry. There we go. Hopefully that's focusing. And so yeah, that's my sock. I think it's cute. I think that I have finished my decreases for this sock, and so now thought I would do some more stripes, but I didn't want to move on to the stripes because my new cast on, ta-da, it's only just because I just wanted to get it on the needles. So this main colour is another Olivia and Oliver Fibres, and this is the colour, I know this, Elderflower? Yeah, I think this is Elderflower, which was meant to be part of the sock set with Willow, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to use the sort of dark purpley one. And so I wanted to cast on this so that I knew how much yarn I had left over to do another purple stripe on the foot of this sock. So that's a gist. That's where we're at. And so this one is ready to go onto the foot, and then the other one must be in one of my bags with my other knits. So give me one second. I think that I put it in here with this one so that I wouldn't lose, so that it was in case I finished my stripe. Where did I go? I must have gone somewhere. And then I finished, I was like, oh, maybe I'll finish all my stripes. Shockingly, fingering weight, 8 row stripes took me a hot minute, so I did not end up needing this, but I had it ready. Oh, I've dropped some stitches. Okay, hold. Have I got them? Yeah. Okay. So this sock is a lot less further on, so I need to do the gusset of this one, and then we will add the stripes to the foot. So those are my two. That's my socks that I'm chugging along with, and then I have this one ready to go, but I haven't actually, other than casting on. So I did my cast on, my German twisted cast on, I think is what it's called. Rather, like, it's sort of like a variation on the long tail cast on. And then I did one row in the purple, and then I have changed to the pink. So that one's looking cute, or I think it will be cute. And so that one will be easier because I won't have to think. Whereas this one I have to do some thinking and like make sure that I don't run out of yarn. So that, I think, is all of my whips and finished objects. I think it's going to be a pretty quick episode this time, which is good because being, I guess, slightly under the weather, it's nice to not talk too much. But yeah, I think I'm hoping that in 2 weeks from now I will have a different video up. I'm hoping to fix some of my whips. Variety is the spice of life, and I want to try and, there's a few, not fix my whips, fix a few of my finished objects that I don't wear as much as I'd like to. So I'm hoping that I can do that for the next episode, and then that will give me time to hopefully make some more meaningful progress on all of these whips that I have. I know I'm only down one, and I guess I've, strictly speaking, cast another one on, so I'm not making as much progress as I'd like, but you know, I haven't cast anything else on, and boy have I wanted to. There's possibly one sneaky swatch somewhere, I don't quite know where, and yeah, so we'll see, but hopefully I can get a few of these off the needles, and then get a few just to, I guess once I clear some of the needles, then I'll have more time to work on the other whips, so I feel like my pace will just increase, but we'll see how we go. I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you later.